Hey everyone, welcome back. This is my episode 1 review of the new anime series Shirobako, also known as White Box. Okay, now, this series, at least from episode 1, is a pretty interesting starting up concept, okay? Because the basic concept for this series, at least so far, is that we're following basically the trials and tribulations of an anime studio, okay? And what anime studios have to go through. Similar to, say, Bakuman, which I haven't seen it yet, from what I've heard, it's like what mangakas have to go through. Well, this is what anime studios have to go through. And it's kind of interesting that some of the stuff that me and a lot of other reviewers complain about, they actually mention in this episode. Like, in terms of still frames, I complain about that a lot. Okay, I know a lot of other reviewers do. And, you know, just because they have trouble with this doesn't mean I'm going to stop criticizing it. I mean, it's the same argument I have with video game design. Just because video game design is one of the most difficult jobs you can possibly do doesn't free it from criticism. Well, it's the same thing here, you know. Just because being a mangaka and being an animator are really difficult jobs, it doesn't free them from criticism. That being said, it is kind of interesting that a couple of things that I've complained about before are mentioned in this episode. Like there's one point where they're trying to show off their animation to the entire group, and they're criticized for, like, seriously yelled at for their the still frames that they have in there, and also because it was still in the storyboard mode. But you know, I mean, that's kind of obvious, I think. You know, but anyways though, and also there was one here where the guy basically said, you know, if we have one episode that's bad, it'll always act like a domino effect, and all the episodes will be bad. Which that's true and not true at the same time. I've seen series that have been able to have a bad episode, but then pick themselves back up again. But it can. It is very concerning when when you have a really bad episode, because then it can lead to a domino effect where all of the other episodes after that are just shit. Again, not always. I've seen series are able to pick themselves up after that, but unfortunately they're not always able to. And so that is still kind of true, you know. So it was actually really cool, okay? And I actually really enjoyed it. I have very high hopes for this series now. I was going into it, first off, thinking that it was going to be another mangaka show. So I kind of got surprised there. But also, I was going into it not really with too many expectations at all. I was just going to try it out, you know, see how I liked it. But I actually have quite a bit of expectations for the show now. It's actually really cool. And if it's done right, I think it will be really good. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure they're going to cut out a lot of the boring shit that they don't think they can make interesting about being an animator, you know. I'm sure, you know, but because I'm sure there's lots of stuff that they just wouldn't be able to make interesting on screen, you know, because they may want to show what it's like to be an animator, but they also have to keep their viewers entertained at the same time, you know, which is probably no easy feat. So yeah, but I very much enjoyed this episode. I definitely recommend it if you're interested in kind of seeing kind of what they have to go through. Again, it doesn't mean I'm going to be any less critical. Like, not at all. I mean, this series itself, or this episode itself, had some still frames too. Or not really complete still frames, but limited animation nonetheless. Okay, but that being said, the animation wasn't horrendous. Like, it wasn't like, it didn't have completely still frames, you know. It wasn't horrendous animation. The character designs are pretty standard, but I still enjoyed them. The music, there is almost no music, so I can't really comment on that too much. What's there is just there, you know. But overall, I very much enjoyed this episode. I thought it was interesting, and I can't wait for the next episode, because this was a really interesting start, okay? So anyways, overall, I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. These after guys, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.